3 against the Boston Red Sox at Yankee Stadium. It's a huge series, and it's gonna, I think, show what I think really is gonna show is that the Yankees have played, other than the White Sox, we kind of mentioned it. They've played some subpar teams at best. The White Sox series was big to prove them that their recent stretch is sustainable against good teams. But now I think you're going to see where they really stand in the AL East, something that earlier in the year, they got dominated by the Boston Red Sox throughout the season, and that just kind of showed where they were. But now this Yankees team, I think we can all admit, it's a lot different. They have a lot of momentum and they're playing better baseball. So I'm really interested to see how they stack up now against the Boston Red Sox, who have struggled a little bit lately, but are starting to turn things around, and the Yankees, who have been red hot as of late.
You go, Quakes.
Okay, yeah, I think this series is, if you're a Yankee fan, it's a little bit of cautious excitement about this series, because obviously, if you can take 2 or 3 of these games against the Red Sox, that's huge in just springing you up in the standings, especially if the Red Sox and A's are now basically tied for the wild card spot. I think maybe it's a half game, maybe they're tied. And the Yankees are chasing both of them. But since it's the Red Sox, not only is it going to be an absolutely electric atmosphere as every Sox-Yankees game is, but there's so much on the line now. Yeah. And that wasn't the case for most of the season, because the Yankees were always trailing pretty lengthily behind the Red Sox. Now, the Red Sox have been completely dominating of the season series thus far. The Red Sox have won 10 of the 13 games they played against each other. But the last time the Red Sox went to Yankee Stadium, the Yankees took 2 of 3. And right now the Red Sox are coming off a sweep of the Orioles, but that's like the easiest sweep possible in the MLB right now. So it's not saying much. I was going into this series saying if the Red Sox absolutely need to sweep the Orioles, and if they only took 2 out of 3, I was going to be just as glum as I was last week. Thankfully, they took all 3. So they're setting themselves up. Now they're only 3 games back of the Rays. I don't know if they'll be able to catch them, because the Red Sox have been playing so inconsistently lately. But it was great to see Sale back on the mound. The Yankees are one of the hottest teams in baseball, if not the hottest. I'm worried. It's going to be a really fun series. I'm going to be covering it tomorrow night, and then also going as a fan Wednesday night. Probably kind of taking my life in my own hands, wearing a Red Sox jersey to the bleachers, but we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a really, really fun series, and it could go a number of ways. It could send the Red Sox way up in the standings. It could make it could secure the Red Sox wild card worries for a little bit, or it could just completely take them down 3 pegs, and the Yankees could be in the lead of the wild card. They could be ahead of the A's by the end of the series. So there's a lot on the line. And I think it's just going to be really fun baseball.
Cautious excitement. I love that phrase. That's literally exactly how I feel. Because if you look at it, like before the Red Sox swept the Orioles, they had lost 11 of their last 14, completely free falling out of first place. I was looking at it like I was kind of more worried about the Blue Jays. I was treating the Red Sox, obviously, like I thought they would still be going on this downward. And while they still could be, right, a sweep of the Orioles in retrospect doesn't really mean much. But, to be going in winning 3 straight, it's like it's baseball. It's hard to do at the end of the day. So obviously, that's at least a little positive. But at the end, like the Yankees they have the best record in baseball since July 4th. And I know like the very recent stretch has been a lot of bad teams. But in that stretch, that includes the Rays, that includes the Red Sox, that includes the Astros, White Sox. So I don't think you can just say like this is their first real test. But this is certainly a huge one, because this is the first time all year you have a chance to flip the standings, right? All year it's been like, all right, you can cut it in half here if you win 3 or 4, whatever. No, this is your chance where you can literally flip it completely. You can see yourself in a playoff spot for the first time since I think mid-June. So this series is why baseball is the best, because like we're in the middle of August, really the only sport on. Yankees-Red Sox, best rivalry in sports, in my bias opinion, obviously.
No, we're with you. We're with you.
Yeah.
We're all here with you.
Well, obviously, all of us are.
It doesn't get better than that. Quigs, you're covering the one I'm not. I'm covering the other 2. I think I'm going to a fan. I think I'll be a fan the one you're covering as well. So it'll be a huge week. Obviously, the Angels game is important for the Yankees, but this AL East, it's really crazy. From like July 4th to before last weekend, the Yankees had the best record in baseball, and they gained 1 game in the standings.
Yeah.
one game over a month, and then in just the last weekend they gained 2. So like it's really been a frustrating, obviously, to see. Obviously the Yankees put themselves in this position, no one to blame but themselves, but they haven't gotten any help across the board. I think that's one thing we knew. We talk about this division. It's probably a 3-man race, but I would confidently put money on the Rays to win this thing. I think in the regular season, they are just a machine.
Yeah.
They need to really falter. The one thing I'll say is I don't know if the Red Sox have them again, but the Yankees have them the last series of the season. So mathematically, theoretically, the Yankees really just need to get it to 3 games by that last series, and then anything can happen. I don't know what the situation with the Red Sox is. I know from that perspective, though, the Yankees have the Red Sox here, and then just that last series, second to last series, they play the Red Sox. So this is moving time, because you can't control the Red Sox when they play the Orioles or whoever they play, whoever bad team they play. But this is where you can really flip the standings. It'll be Luis Gil making his 3rd career start. Still has not given up an earned run. I feel like that will probably change. I don't know if he'll pitch badly, and then in that second game of the doubleheader, Jordan Montgomery for the Yankees, his first start off the COVID IL. So, the Red Sox, I think historically, they hit him kind of well. He's pitched well against them this year, but he has that COVID rust. That's certainly a concern. And then Wednesday, you have Andrew Heaney going for the Yankees, who's given up, I think, 9 homers in 13 innings, has a 9 ERA. So things do look good from the Red Sox from that perspective. But the Yankees haven't been at full strength in 3 weeks now, and it hasn't played a role. So I think it's going to be fascinating on that end. And I know I'm going on a tangent here, but that's just the cautious excitement that I'm feeling.
Yeah, I think with this series, it's interesting because the Red Sox are playing the Yankees at their best point of the season, and the Yankees are playing the Red Sox maybe not at their worst, but coming off their worst. So that'll be really interesting, I think, to show where we're at in the American League East, who really has the edge. We talked about the Rays kind of at the top, but this battle between the Red Sox and the Yankees, you cannot ask for any more. I mean, as 2 Red Sox fans and a Yankees fan here, we are all super pumped for that series, and I'm jealous of you guys being there to either go as a fan or cover it. I'll be watching from my couch, but enjoying every minute of it.